Colonialism, a word that echoes through the corridors of history, a chapter stained with exploitation, oppression, and unimaginable suffering. At its core lies the pursuit of power and wealth by European empires, driven by the ambition to dominate lands far removed from their own shores. But what truly transpired during this dark chapter of our past? The story begins in the 15th century, as European nations embarked on voyages of exploration that would forever alter the fabric of the world. Portugal and Spain, later joined by Britain, France, and the Netherlands, among others, sought to expand their influence by colonizing vast territories across Africa, Asia, and the Americas. On the surface, this expansion was woven with the promise of trade, the spread of Christianity, and the allure of new worlds. Yet, beneath this veneer lay the grim reality of conquest and control. In colonized regions, indigenous populations were often deemed inferior and treated with appalling disregard. Entire civilizations, such as the Aztecs and the Incas, were decimated through warfare, disease, and enslavement. The transatlantic slave trade stands as one of colonialism's most brutal legacies, forcibly uprooting millions of Africans from their homeland, condemning them to lives of unspeakable hardship and cruelty in the New World. Families torn apart, cultures extinguished, and humanity reduced to mere commodities. This was the harsh cadence of colonial rule. In Africa, the infamous Scramble for Africa during the late 19th century saw the continent carved up like a grotesque pie among European powers. Borders were drawn with little regard for ethnic or cultural lines, sowing the seeds for conflicts that persist to this day. Colonizers exploited the land, extracting resources to fuel the burgeoning industries back home, while local populations endured forced labor, dispossession, and loss of sovereignty. Asia, too, bore witness to the devastating impacts of colonial ambition. The British Empire's imprint on India, characterized by economic exploitation and political subjugation, triggered famines that claimed millions of lives. The opium trade, propelled by Britain, inflicted a catastrophic addiction crisis in China, resulting in the Opium Wars and a forced opening of Chinese markets. It was a time when diplomacy was overshadowed by the barrel of a gun, and national autonomy was a distant dream. Colonialism was not merely an economic venture, it was a cultural desecration. Colonizers imposed their languages, religions, and customs upon colonized peoples, often eradicating local traditions and identities. This cultural imperialism left scars that continue to impact post-colonial societies, where questions of identity, governance, and development remain complex and unresolved. Today, as we reflect on this painful past, it is vital to acknowledge the resilience and resistance of those who endured and fought against colonial oppression. Leaders like Mahatma Gandhi, Nelson Mandela, and Kwame Nkrumah championed the cause of independence and human dignity, inspiring movements that eventually dismantled colonial empires. In conclusion, the horrors of colonialism serve as a poignant reminder of humanity's capacity for exploitation and injustice. It calls upon us to remember, to learn, and to heal, forging a path toward a future where the echoes of this dark chapter propel us to uphold the values of equality and respect for all cultures and peoples. For only by confronting the past can we hope to build a world where history does not repeat its darkest moments.